Hello and welcome to a book haul. I have a few books to show you, so I'm just going to get straight on with it. So the first one I have is by Nick Frost, and it's called The Secret Ministry of Frost. Oh, sorry, it's by Nick Lake, not Nick Frost. The Secret Ministry of Frost. If you look at this cover, look at that, it's like shiny. But anyway, so this is about an Inuit called Light. And it says she has never exactly blended in, even before her father disappeared in the Arctic, leaving her alone in the world. Well, not completely alone, because the Inuit folklore Light has only read about in books is about to spring violently and impossibly to life, covered in tattoos and with very, very sharp teeth. So it sounds crazy, and there's like blood splatters on the cover, which has me intrigued already. So I'm excited to delve into this. Then I have another book by Nick Lake called Satellite, and this is quite a chunker. I didn't realise how big this was. And this is about a boy called Leo. Well, okay. It's a trio of twins called Leo, Orion and Libra, and they are born on this space station called the Moon 2 space station, and something has happened. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's now time for Leo, Orion and Libra to step foot on Earth, to go to make a journey down to Earth from the space station. And it says, but they cannot imagine the terrible consequences that their return will set into motion. So it sounds pretty interesting. And it's quite a big book, so I reckon there's quite a lot of stuff that happens when they return to Earth. So this sounds really interesting. It's quite a cool concept that they were born in space, and it's their first time going to Earth, rather than born on Earth and going to space. So I thought that was really cool. I then have Vigilance by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is also the author of the fantasy books, there's the City of Stairs books. There's also Foundry Side that he wrote. And this is a new one, if you can tell by the cover. It's a social commentary, but it's also a fantasy book. And it says, The United States 2030. John McDean executive produces Vigilance, a reality game show designed to make sure American citizens stay alert to foreign and domestic threats. Shooters are introduced into a game environment, and the survivors get a cash prize. The TV viewers are not the only ones watching, though, and McDean soon finds out what it's like to be on the other side of the camera. So that sounds awesome. And it's very short. It's like under 200 pages. And the text is quite big. But it sounds awesome, and it's got very good ratings on Goodreads. So that might possibly be my next read, I'm not sure. And then I have You Know You Want This by Kristen Rupenian. Yeah. And yes, I know I hauled a version of this on my ebook haul, but some covers and some books you cannot not have in physical form. Look how beautiful this is. And yeah, it's a collection of short stories, and they're all pretty weird. I've read the first one called Bad Boy, and it's quite interesting. It's about a couple who invite their friend over for sexy times, and they keep inviting him, and then they get nastier and nastier to him, and then stuff happens. But yeah, so I've read the first one, and it's pretty good, so I'm excited to have this beautiful little hardback. It's gorgeous. I love this. I then have another one of these Farrar, Straus and Giroux editions, and this is The Savage by Frank Bill. It's quite a big book, and this is kind of fantasy but not. So it says, the dollar has failed, the grid is wiped out, Walmarts are looted and homes are abandoned as common folk flee and bloodthirsty militias fight for power. In a 21st century America gone haywire, a Darwinian struggle for survival is the law of the land. So I thought it sounded pretty good. And it's quite a big one. But it sounds interesting. I love this cover. I think it's gorgeous. And yeah, sounds pretty good. And then I went on Amazon, and I don't know what Amazon do, but occasionally they have brand new books. And, well, sometimes not brand new books, but they have books that are normally full price, quite cheap. And I'm a bit confused about that. So, but I jumped at the chance and I got two. So I picked up Honor Among Thieves, and this is by Rachel Kane and Anna Aguirre, or Aguirre. Rachel Kane has written like vampire books, and Anne Aguirre wrote the Horde trilogy, which is Enclave. I've forgotten the other two. There's Enclave, Horde, and there's another one. Yeah, this is, if you could tell by the cover, is a sci-fi, and it's the first in a series because the second one has just been released, which is why I think this one was so cheap. I picked this one up for less than £5, and it's a hardcover. And yeah, it's about a girl called Zara Cole, who is she's like a petty criminal and she does drugs and stuff, and she's decided to stay in this dome instead of going to explore other planets. But then she commits some kind of interplanetary crime which is huge and could like affect shit ton of people. So she is asked to accompany some people on some kind of flight. And yeah, I just thought it sounded really interesting. It was only a £5, so I decided to give it a shot, and the cover is lovely. And the new one, Honor Bound, has a lovely cover as well. And then the last book I have is also one of those Amazon ones. This is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. It's brand new, hardcover, beautiful condition, and this was under a £5 on Amazon as well. And I've been looking at this for a while. This is one of the best rated murder mystery type books that I have seen on Goodreads for a very long time. And it's about these... how many people is it? I don't know how many people it is, but it says, in a remote hunting lodge deep in the Scottish wilderness, old friends gather for New Year. The beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider, the victim. Not an accident, a murder among friends. So I thought that sounded really interesting, and this cover's lovely. And I love the red on the spine as well. But yeah, I thought that sounded pretty interesting. So I picked it up, but for under a £5, I'm not going to pass that up. So that is my book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you know anything about these books, or if you've read any of them. And yeah, I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.